Secret Invasion was complete garbage. All right? I'm finally here to talk about it. The finale happened just the other day. I was anticipating this series. I'm going to be honest. I was like, yo, this is going to look awesome, but unfortunately, it failed to live up to expectations. Even Samuel L. Jackson being in this couldn't save this series. I mean, what is the MCU doing? The initial episodes were a little bit mediocre. At first, I was like, you know what? It's going to be a slow crisp. It's going to be a nice spy thriller. It's going to be like a whodunit. Who's going to be a Skrull? Who's not? Who's going to get killed? And honestly, as the series progressed, it took a turn for the worse, and it left not just me, but several MCU fans disappointed. And now I'm calling for a complete rework of the MCU. This was bad. In fact, this garnered the lowest MCU episode ever with the finale. The finale of Secret Invasion has become the lowest viewed episode. Holy shnikes. Worse than Miss Marvel? Worse than She-Hulk? Get the fuck out of here. What is going on with you, Disney? I keep trying to give you tries and tries and tries. Every time a new MCU project comes out, whether it's a film or a TV show, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give them a little bit of a try. But now it just seems like it's spiraling out of control. Things are just taking a turn for the worst. And it's not even just about woke anymore. It's about bad writing. It's about bad entertainment. These series start off so quickly. They have a good first episode usually, and then they just kind of die out until it's too slow, and then all of a sudden in the finale they try to tie everything up too quickly, and it just leaves you with more plot holes and more questions than anything at the end of it. It really feels like since Endgame, every single thing they make sets up for some kind of unanswered scenario later on in line. Shang-Chi, what the hell happened at the end of that with the end credit scene and the bangs giving a signal? Nothing. Then we also had Doctor Strange, the first one, where at the end you see a reveal that the bad guy is still alive. Nothing's ever happened with that. I mean, we could go down the fucking list. So many things have been set up just to kind of filter or fall out. And if they do come back, they're just not as epic as they've been promised. So despite its promise and premise, this show, Secret Invasion, has failed to maintain a compelling narrative, and it was just basically lackluster. Let's take a look at the Rotten Tomatoes, because you can see people are not happy with it. You have all these reviews, and it is bad. The muddled Marvel series goes out not with a bang, but a whisper. Home is neither an effective tease for the Marvels nor a satisfying conclusion to a standalone MCU story. Secret Invasion had so much potential to truly stand out as an espionage thriller, but the series ultimately let down. Series is wasted with a serious sad face. Blah blah blah. You can see original score. We got 5s out of 10s, 2.5s, 2.2s out of 5s, 2s. It just is not sitting well with anybody, guys. In fact, let's go ahead and just take a look at the tomato meter, which is at an 8 out of 12 reviews, and that's just for the final episode. Let's take a look at the fucking series itself. You can see it's at a 56 and a 57. Disappointing, to say the least. The mighty have fucking fallen. Hardcore. Ever since Endgame. It's just not the same. I don't know what it is, guys. I'm attributing it to bad writing. And that's why I said if the writers want to strike, good. Let them go away. Bring new, fresh people that are wanting to entertain people, right? It's just, I don't know. The finale of this attempted to salvage whatever damage was done to Nick Fury's character. But again, it was rushed. It was unsatisfying. And at the end, it was like, there was no closure. And it was absolutely gross. I'm sure if you're watching this, spoilers. If you haven't seen this, click off right now. Spoiler alert. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What the fuck was that kiss scene at the end? Let me pull that up. This was probably the grossest shit I've seen. I don't know what it was, but I got sick to my stomach seeing Nick Fury kisses Skrull wife.
With the Skrulls. Yeah, with this. This
And I don't want to get copyrighted by Disney, but this whole thing right here made me sick to my stomach. I just could not even look at it. It just felt so weird, so out of place that he's literally passionately kissing an alien. An alien. What are they doing to Nick Fury? What did they do to my man? What did they do to him? I don't get it. It's fucking weird, all right? On top of that, they went full MCU with this. We had Emilia Clarke's character, Gaia, while she was a pretty good character throughout the whole series, she essentially became a massive problem for the MCU going forward because they gave her all of the powers of all the Avengers that were at the Earth battle during Endgame. Yeah, she took the DNA. And now she's able to switch between Groot's powers, Captain Marvel, Captain America, Hulk, like you name it, Drax. You name the freaking Avenger, she could shapeshift like Shang Tsung. She's definitely OP. They essentially made a creative character that could single-handedly dominate any situation going forward. I don't know what happened, but I feel that this decision definitely undermines the balance between heroes and villains in the MCU, and now it's completely thrown apart. This feels like it was just poorly planned. Who knows, but leave it. My main problem with the whole final battle that we saw in this was that it was overly CGI'd in a crappy little setting. It was an MCU moment because Nick Fury, who was the fucking star of the show, essentially did nothing. While that fight was going on, she was disguised as Nick Fury initially. Then they had the fight. She defeated the enemy, while Nick Fury never even engaged with Gravik personally. Nick Fury was over at the hospital dealing with the president and the fake Skrull roadie. So it was like Nick Fury proved nothing in this. He did nothing heroic. He literally was like just an old man in this show. And Gaia took everything, and it became about her. This was essentially an origin story for Gaia. And I just didn't like the whole overwhelming powers or anything. Then the reveal of Rhodey, because we just brought that up, as a Skrull, came as a shock, but instead of, I guess, adding depth to the story, it just raised more questions about past interactions and character development with Rhodey as a character, because were important moments from previous films now tainted with this storyline where maybe he's not Rhodey at all during Endgame or Civil War or whatever? They didn't really clarify. Even when the soldiers that helped him up at the end of the episode said, "How long have you been abducted?" He didn't even answer it. So now it's like we're speculating now. And then on top of that, the director admitted that this series was literally being pieced together in the editing room, even as new episodes were being premiered. It wasn't even finished editing. No wonder why it felt like it was Frankenstein together. It's like they had a lack of planning and cohesion for Secret Invasion, and it was a very haphazard approach to storytelling that it just a complete lack of foresight over there with Marvel Studios. And I think this was the worst moment in history. And I thought Miss Marvel and She-Hulk was bad, but now we have a series that literally lacked a clear direction or purpose. Like there was no... what the fuck was the showrunner doing? What was the showrunner doing? On top of that, there was the, I guess, somewhat little low-key sliver of identity politics in there that felt forced and detracted from an actual real organic development of this plot. This plot should have been based on just aliens. No kind of like weird identity politics. It's like this us versus them mentality that they try to fit in here. Representation, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But don't put it over the expense of a good fucking story. That's why I hate woke culture. You can have all of it. But have a compelling narrative on top of it, guys. Don't focus just on making every female character or every minority character the most important ever. Like you're constantly pandering to different ethnicities and different groups of people and orientations instead of having some genuine storytelling, right? You had Nick Fury, you had Samuel L. Jackson on here who could tell a story with his eyes fucking closed, and I really feel like they did absolutely nothing with Nick Fury this whole time. They didn't take advantage of Samuel L. Jackson at all. You know, I think the MCU, it's extremely evident that they're in dire need of a complete rework, 110%. And I think it's time for the studio to take a step back, listen to fan feedback. Yes, listen to us neckbeards and reevaluate how they storytell. And luckily, they got a strike going on. That's the one thing I'll give this strike for. Luckily, we got a strike that has delayed a lot of projects now. Stuff is getting delayed. The Marvels might get delayed. Who knows? But I feel that the foundation that made the MCU successful in the past has taken a backseat. Like, it's died. It's gone away. It's eroded. And it's essential to return to that formula. The well-thought-out, cohesive, purposeful vision that they originally had. But the thing that fucked it up was Disney Plus, because they're just having to constantly feed content every couple months. For a while, we had a new MCU project every fucking month or two. Now, the next one coming out is going to be Loki Season 2 in October. So we got, like, what, a 2-month break? And then November's going to have Echo and the Marvels, unless Marvels gets delayed. But it almost seems like every movie now is setting up for a Disney Plus series. So in order to even catch up or keep up with the full arc, the full narrative of the MCU, you have to subscribe to Disney Plus. Like, it's behind a paywall. More than half of it is behind a fucking paywall, and it's not even good writing. It's usually first, second, and mid, and last episode. Like, the rest is just fucking filler. I think, in my opinion, the best MCU Disney Plus show was WandaVision. It was fun. It was creative. It was different. It stood out. Secret Invasion was almost the budget of Civil War. I think if it would have been 8 episodes or about 7, like if they would have had 1 or 2 more episodes, it would have been the budget of Civil War. But when you look at Civil War and then you look at Secret Invasion, where the fuck did the money go with Secret Invasion? Where did it fucking go? It didn't sure as fuck go to the sets. The sets were trash. Most of the times it was like in a hallway. In the finale, it was like in that rundown factory. It was inside Nick Fury's house. It was inside of like small little areas. Literally, like all the sets in this show felt small. It was the CGI didn't even look that fucking great. Like Gaia's arm in the final battle looked like shit. Well, Samuel L. Jackson couldn't cost that much. The writers sure as fuck are complaining about not being paid enough. So where did the fucking money go on this show? I'm at a loss for words on this. Like I'm strictly puzzled on this, and I feel like they got to regain the trust and excitement of the audience of the MCU. I mean, you got to focus on well-developed characters, guys. You gotta have fun. You gotta have entertainment, compelling story arcs, cohesive world building. It feels like everybody's doing their own fucking thing because everybody wants to have their own representation, and it's not coming together, guys. It's ass, and you're spinning the wheels too on the overall arc. Like it's the multiverse saga, but it seems like every single thing isn't even connecting to each other. Like Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange and all this don't even feel like they're having consequences with each other or anything in the world building. Like there's no references to anything. There hasn't even been a team up. Most phases had a team up movie at the end of it. There hasn't been an Avengers movie since Endgame. And sure, the Avengers are broken up, but you can at least have a basic team up, and not No Way Home or Multiverse of Madness. Those don't fucking count. And then you introduced a lot of characters that haven't even come back. Where the fuck is White Vision at? Where fuck are they at? I mean, honestly, this has been a mess in Secret Invasion. Oof. I feel bad for Echo. I really do. Because Echo is putting all their episodes out day one. They're not even doing the drip feed for Echo. It's almost like they said, fuck this. Nobody's going to watch Echo. So, I don't know, guys. It's a mess, and it's not looking good. It seems like they're going to be delaying a lot of stuff soon, and Secret Invasion. What a fucking letdown.